So the next session is looking at expertise and knowledge and innovation from the educational establishments in Suffolk and Norfolk, and hearing what they're doing. We've got three sessions running to find out what's happening in those particular establishments. And it's so important, isn't it? This is young people. This is their future, their work. Since we kicked off Greenest County, I keep going back in time as you would, I've now got 2 children. I didn't have 2 children when I kicked off Greenest County, so I've now got 2 at 10 and 13. And boy, do they focus your mind on what they're going to inherit from me in 10, 20, 30, 40 years' time. It really does make you focus on what young people want and what they deserve. So without further ado, I think first of all we've got West Suffolk College, Dora Martinez Carbonell, and she is recorded.
Hello everyone, my name is Dora Martinez and I am the Sustainability Initiatives Lead at the Sustainability Center at West Suffolk College. So I'm going to tell you a bit more about what we do at the Sustainability Center and also how you can get involved as well. But first I would like just to show this figure. This is the 2021 Global Risks Outlook by the World Economic Forum. So basically what this shows is how the global businesses perceive global risks that can actually affect their businesses. So as we can see in the top right corner, we see in there climate action failure, we see environmental, human environmental damage, extreme weather events, biodiversity loss. So it's been for a few years now, over the last 4 or 5 years, that the climate crisis is actually perceived as the #1 risk for businesses. So it's clear that we have to start doing things differently, because otherwise we are at risk that our businesses will collapse. And also, I'm sure that this will have been discussed during this event. We have to think about the legally binding commitment to net zero by 2050. I mean, all organizations, no matter what size, no matter what revenue, no matter what sector, all organizations must comply with that here in the UK. So we really need action. We really need change. So yeah, for the first time in history, we understand the drivers of the climate crisis. We understand how we got here. But not only that, we also are starting to suffer the effects of the climate crisis. So it is urgent that we change things. But the good news is that we have the knowledge, technology, and means to start changing things and to start doing business in a very different way. So in this figure in here, what we see are the different is the value chain of any given organization. So we see how the different operations, the different areas of any given organization, let's say, or different departments, actually work in collaboration both internally and externally. We cannot think that we will solve this working in isolation. We need to work in collaboration with all our stakeholders, both inside of our organizations and also those externals, which are our suppliers, our contractors, and also our customers and clients, and ultimately the wider society. So as I say here, there is so little we can directly control, because again, we don't work in isolation, but there is so much that we can influence. How we do that, or how should we do that? Where is the opportunity in here? Well, I like to talk about this LESC acronym, like leadership, engagement, synergies, and collaboration. So we must take the lead so others can follow. Then we need to engage again, not only with our external stakeholders, but also with our internal stakeholder. That's our staff members, our employees. And then we have to look for those synergies through collaboration, both in and out, again, in and out of our scope of action. So That's exactly what we do at the Sustainability Center at West Suffolk College. So we work both internally and externally. So we work internally with students as well as with lecturers and all the staff members across different departments. And also we support local organizations to transition to sustainable practices. So how do we do that? Well, I am let's say, the internal face of the Sustainability Center. So I work with tutors, with lecturers, with head of departments, with people across different departments, not only teaching departments, but also procurement, HR, etc. So I work with everyone and also with the students to see how sustainability can be embedded into everything that we do. So with teachers, I work to see how they can embed sustainability and bring sustainability into the curriculum. I also deliver workshops for the students, just for them to feel empowered and to take the lead and see how they can actually implement sustainability when moving forward in their careers, actually. So we are setting up a student society, a green student society that we will be launching in early November. And then we are also putting the sustainability awards together, and you will find more information in our website. But we want to bring together students, businesses, and all the staff members in our community in West Suffolk College. So we will be hosting a sustainability award ceremony in June 2022, and hopefully we will see you there as well. So yeah, so basically it's all about driving action and taking pledges taking also commitment, but we don't only want to be just words, we want action. And then my colleague Chloe, we will talk about her in the following slide. So she basically focused her action externally. She's the external face of the Sustainability Center. So she works in the Sustainability Center business program, and she brings organizations together. She's creating a network of local businesses interested in bringing sustainability into their operations. So she creates free tools and resources, and also the network, of course, is a space for exchanging experiences and see what it works and where it doesn't work. See how the different businesses across East Anglia can collaborate and join forces. And then, of course, we have also the fully funded IEMA courses. IEMA is the Institute for Environmental Management and Assessment. So we offer courses for the workforce, for managers, and also for leadership groups. So I think that this is the most interesting part for the audience here today. So I just wanted to expand a bit more about the business side of the Sustainability Center. So again, Chloe is your go-to person with anything to do with the Sustainability Center business program. So if you want to join the network, please drop her a line. You also will find more information about what we do in our website. And then regarding the IEMA courses, I do deliver a couple of them, and then another colleague delivers the third one. So as we're seeing here, we have skills for the workforce, environmental sustainability skills for managers, and then the foundation certificate in environmental management. So the skills for the workforce basically focus in climate science and all the very basics of sustainability, drivers and consequences of the climate emergency. And also we see a bit of carbon accountancy, environmental management systems such as ISO 14001. So it's basically for staff members in your organization who want to start bringing sustainability into their roles. Then the one for managers is for team leaders and for managers who want to drive action within their teams. So it's very much it's very much the first day, because this one runs for 2 days. So the first day is very much focused in the same like the workforce, but then in the second day we will talk about about communication tools, how you can actually bring people on board, how you can actually negotiate with people. We will also talk about data reporting. So yeah, we will give you tools for you to move forward with the sustainability agenda and create a network of sustainability champions. So the first course runs for 1 full day. We have here the next following days. We have the first one is the 15th of November. You will have the option to attend online or in person. I always recommend in person, of course. And then the other one, the Skills for Managers, runs for 2 days. So we have spread that into 2 weeks. So the first, we will do the dates that you have in here. So the first course will run on the 17th and the 24th of November, and then January, and then March. And then the last one, the Environmental Management Foundation Certificate, it is taught by my colleague Richard Carter. He is a non-executive director at AIMA, and he has a wealth of experience in sustainability. He used to be finance and sustainability manager at the brewery Adnams. So he's great. And this course is quite intense and intensive. It is for 5 days, 5 full days. The course will run in 5 consecutive weeks as opposed to 5 consecutive days. So in this course is very much recommended for the executive team, leaders in the organizations, for them to better understand how to embed sustainability throughout all the operations and business strategies. So there you have them, like the 3 courses. I would like to stress that if you want to join the Sustainability Network, in the business program with my colleague Chloe, those courses will be fully funded for all the employees that you want to sign up for the courses. But if you want to just do the courses and not join the network, then you will need to bear the cost of the course. But I mean, we are fully funded by the European Union, yes, still. So anything and everything that we do is for free. So all the support that you get, all the resources, the tools, the courses, the AIMA courses, everything is free and open to all the SMEs in East Anglia. So please join us at the Sustainability Centre. And then just to finish, I would like to use this bold statement by Philippe Joubert. Philippe is the founder and director at Earth on Board. It is a company which helps big corporations to adopt sustainability into their business practices and operations and strategies. So he always opens his meetings with this bold statement: business as usual is dead. I mean, indeed, it's been proved that the systems in place don't work for the people, and certainly don't work for the planet. So we know that we must change the way we do things, the way we live, and the way we do business in the planet. So the good news, as I say at the beginning of the presentation today, is that we know how to do it. We have the tools, we have the knowledge, and the Sustainability Centre can support you can support you in your journey to sustainability. So please join us. Please drop me a line. You have here my email address, my contact details. Also, please go onto our website and explore all the different things that we do. And I do hope to hear from you in the coming weeks, and hopefully we will work together. Okay, so thank you very much. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dora, at West Suffolk College. And without further ado, can I introduce Rachel and Kerry from East Coast College. There you go.
So thank you for inviting us along this afternoon. My name's Kerry Payne. I'm the Assistant Principal at East Coast College for Higher Education in particular. This is my colleague Rachel Bunn. So Rachel Bunn is our Assistant Principal for quite a few complex areas within the college. So that involves apprenticeships, employer training, commercial work, lots and lots of bits and bobs I'm sure Rachel will talk to you about. So our college at East Coast runs numerous curriculum areas, but we thought we'd talk to you today, of course, about areas that link to sustainability in particular. So we're very, very lucky to have an Energy Skills Centre at our Lowestoft campus. So we've had the Energy Skills Centre for a few years now, and we had over £11.4 million investment in that centre to train young people and adults, as well as employers, within engineering and the energy sector curriculum in particular. So this was funded through the New Anglian Local Enterprise Partnership and also jointly funded by the college. So this centre, if you ever had a chance to come and visit us, please do, or check it out on our website. But it has world-class state-of-the-art facilities designed around engineering and energy, but also offshore sector and maritime, international maritime training as well. So to set up the centre and to set up any of the curriculum that we deliver, we do work really, really closely with our employers and local organisations concerned with economic development and future skills development. So our curriculum will be backed by employers, and that's particularly important for areas in my curriculum with higher education. Every single degree has to have at least 1 or 2 employers that actually sign their name to that curriculum, saying it will actually give the learners the skills needed to be successful within that sector. And the centre curriculum has some constantly changing training. Sorry, just missing that last point there. So such as something exciting, which Rachel will know more about, but the hybrid car charging and also decarbonation upskilling as well. Okay, so we are trying to support local and national skills needs. So we do have training pathways all the way through from level 1, starting at the base, right the way through to higher education programs and apprenticeships that take us through to level 7. So that is postgraduate level training. So we do welcome existing customers and work with the customers to provide training for what they want, what they're requesting us to do. But we're also very interested in working with new customers as well, just to support that and further develop the curriculum. There is an innovation centre within the Energy Skills Centre, and that works to have partnerships with employers to deliver tailored and bespoke courses, just to try and help us and the employers stay ahead of the curve, if you like. So we're doing everything that's coming through that's new. The Energy Skills Centre will, from next September, also be one of the buildings on our campuses that will support us within our Institute of Technology. So we're working with our partners, who you'll hear from shortly, the University of Suffolk, to develop the New Anglian Institute of Technology. Now that institute will deliver level 4 plus training, so level 4 all the way through to level 7, particularly within the STEM subject areas. So we have a number of courses, for example, conservation science, energy and the environment, sustainable futures. So there's some of our degree course titles that will be on offer for our students if they're particularly interested in progressing into relevant pathways that lead into sustainable work. Thank you.
Thank you, Kerry. Right? Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So as Kerry described, I've got a job title of a multitude of sins, which include commercial development, but also employer engagement and apprenticeships. So as you can see on the next slide, we offer a breadth of training for industry, but as a college, we can't do that alone. So it's really important for collaboration and for partnerships. Now, within the Energy Centre, we've got partnerships, for example, with Maersk around training the offshore wind technicians. As a college, we couldn't do that alone, but as a partnership, we've actually got an amazing training facility and a training offer within region. So we offer pre-employment programs as well. So, for example, in offshore wind, we do a transition and a foundation course. So we've had people transitioning from offshore oil and gas, being trained, and are now qualified wind technicians across the world. But it's also really important around the adult training and adult reskilling. So we work with DWP around foundation programs and supporting career aspirations for adults as well. We also look at license to practices, work-based learning programs, apprenticeship offers. So currently at the moment, we offer apprenticeships in the offshore wind sector. As apprenticeship standards become more live and more developed, we will be looking at energy support around the domestic and the decarbonisation agenda. So Kerry's already touched on our higher education offer, but obviously one key bit that our college really prides themselves in is our bespoke training. So we work with employers for developing their own courses for their own needs. There is no point just offering a static curriculum. It needs to be fluid and forward thinking. So we really pride ourselves on that. So it's also about, at college, it's about looking at a talent pipeline. The college in Lowestoft and Yarmouth has around 1,800 young people currently studying at courses and around 5,000 adults on part-time or full-time programs. This is the future workforce. So it's really important we engage, we inspire, and we make sure that that future workforce is current and meets the skills need. So one of the ways we do that is work with employers around industry placement. So it's really important that a student doesn't only learn within the classroom, but also learns within the workplace. So we're always looking at opportunities for employer projects and work experience. So what we've seen is we've seen a real shift in our students. So over the last couple of years, we've got 16-year-old students coming in who are challenging college practice, challenging employers around that sustainability and that environmental awareness. We have seen a real shift in young people's passion and also their choice in careers. So we need to harness that and work with them. What we can also do is we've got an Energy Ambassadors program. So we've got students who are receiving extra training, who will be going out to primary schools, high schools, as well as community organisations around exchanging knowledge and raising aspirations. So we are still on a journey as East Coast College. As we know, the energy sector and the future need around decarbonisation doesn't stand still. So as a college, we can't afford to stand still either. So we are continuously looking around partnerships, supporting need and driving change towards net zero. It's really important we collaborate and we partner, but also we're actually responsible for educating hearts and minds. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Rachel and Kerry. Last but not least, University of Suffolk, just down the road, Professor Nick Berry and students Thomas Heathwaite and Daniel Bundy. Hope I got it right.
Thank you very much, Ian, for the introduction, and welcome everyone. As I said, we've got a couple of our students who've come to take a couple of questions from me in a minute, and it's Thomas Heathwaite, who's on our Wildlife Ecology and Conservation course, also quite involved in Suffolk Wildlife Trust. And we've got Daniel, who is a marketing business degree, but is now doing an intern with Justin Oakes in our Sustainability Institute. So very grateful for them to come. As you said previously, we're working in conjunction with our partner colleges in the East Coast and the West in Bury St Edmunds. And we see ourselves very much as a community university, as those two colleges do as well. So we're here to help as a civic university to listen to what your needs are and to, as was said before, bespoke courses that can meet those needs. From the energy perspective, we're also, as a university, looking through to research. And I don't know if Peter's here, but Peter Goody is a PhD student with me working on energy supply within local systems. And we've got a new initiative up at Adastral Park, also partially funded by the LEP, called the Digitech Centre. That, as part of that, that's far more computer organised, but we have an eco-build to look at sustainable development. So what I wanted to do, as Ian very much said at the start of this, is that I look around and, yes, I can say it because I'm in this bracket, old, stale and male, but we do have a role, these oldies, in setting the scene and the development going forward. The people who are going to inherit that are sitting next to us, the Generation Z or iGen or whatever you want to call it. So we, as an older generation, need to set the baseline that they are going to inherit and have to take forward. So I think it's quite an apt time to ask these guys what their concerns are. So Thomas, what is your major concern for the environment in 2021?
The biodiversity loss, because without biodiversity we can't sustain our environment, and we can't sustain how we do things. We need the biodiversity to sustain us. If we don't have biodiversity, we can't fix the climate change crisis, which means we can't fix other crises as well. For example, I'm doing my dissertation on how bumblebees have either got bigger or smaller due to fragmentation and climate change over a 150-year period. And so biodiversity is critical to us because we need it for ecosystem services such as purifying water, we need it for purifying air. Biodiversity is critical to us for our mental health. It's also critical to us for our crops. If we don't have the bees, if we don't have the other pollinators, how can we possibly have our food? Like 75% of our food is made or pollinated either directly or indirectly through pollinators. So it's critical that we have the biodiversity.
Thank you, Thomas. Slightly different to the subject, but I'll come back to that in a minute. And Daniel, what's your...
My main concern, my environmental concern, is a lot about like the ocean and obviously waste getting inside the ocean. I think that this actually creates like such a big problem for wildlife and things, and that, you know, for net zero, we should get closer to, you know, sustaining our oceans and things like that.
Okay, thank you very much. So going on, I'll bring it back to climate as it's energy and that side of things. So what, Daniel, I'll ask you first this time.
Okay.
What one thing would you suggest everybody out here to do to help against climate change?
The one thing that I suggest is to change your form of like transportation. If you're using a vehicle, maybe you could try to get an electric vehicle or use another mode of transport like a bike. This will greatly reduce how much pollution you're causing when you're just using your car every day. Additionally to this, I think that there should be more research done into materials and materials that are similar to plastic, that are biodegradable, so that we can use less plastic and hopefully cause less waste.
Thank you very much. And Thomas, what would your advice be?
So, similar to Daniel, I would say you should use more public transport, and also for journeys in which, you know, you could walk or you could bike, do that, don't use the car, because if we use public transport, if we walk, if we cycle, that is going to greatly reduce our carbon emissions.
Okay, thank you very much. And one last quick question. Are you optimistic about reaching net zero by 2030 or 50, Thomas?
I am not really that optimistic about 2030 and getting to net zero unless there's a drastic change through COP26. I struggle to see how we're going to get to net zero by 2030. By 2050, I'm slightly more optimistic, but I still am hesitant to say I'm totally optimistic that we will do it.
And Daniel?
Yes, I actually have a different view to Tom. I think that, you know, potentially because global warming and climate change is becoming such a, it's like in the back of everyone's mind. And I think because of that, people will be more encouraged to actually reduce the pollution and climate change. I think net zero is achievable by 2030, but like Tom said, something needs to change to speed it up.
Thank you very much. And those are just the questions to get a snapshot of where our students are thinking. And I just want to put this in context of the bigger student population at the moment. So this up here is a survey that was conducted by Unite students of about 1,000 students, and some of the concerns that they were having. And I'll have to read it from here because I can't see it up there. I'll just highlight a couple of sort of things. 20% 23% of the students think that the UK's carbon emissions targets are ambitious enough. Will they change their behaviour? Well, yes, 88% say they will limit the number of flights. 49 and 68% say they're going to go vegan. I don't know if I could do that. Maybe I'm the wrong generation. 76% say that it's important to know what brands and buy and where that comes from, looking at climate change. Within there, they actually say at the bottom, and this is more geared to yesterday, really, within the business side of things, 76% of students say that their feelings around climate change will influence their career plans. And a fifth of all students would turn down offers of higher salaries. The company's record on climate change are poorer. So we're beginning to see some of these changes going on. And a much wider survey there was conducted by Deloitte with 23,000 of similar people, Daniel and Thomas. And actually quite interesting, you see on the right-hand side, that though climate change was the highest concern for this Generation Z, there's also unemployment, healthcare, education skills, and sexual harassment in this that are coming forward as well. Coming back to some of the questions I asked here, less optimistic about the future. Fewer than 50% see business as a force for good in society. So all our reds in the bed go, yeah, in that. 60% fear deprioritising of climate post-COVID. And belief, wealth and income distributed unequally. So why I sort of put that up at the end, and in some of the comments that they said, is though we're talking about energy, and some of the stuff we've heard this morning, fantastic what's going on in the community about making that transition. But there is also a bigger picture, and we're all aware. The Sustainability Development Goals are there for a purpose. One of them is about around climate, and it probably is one of the biggest things. But I think, as Thomas said, is that biodiversity is also highly important, and they're interlinked. You only need to read various articles in newspapers about how climate is changing the oceans and also the physiology of various other organisms. So within us here at the university, we do take a holistic view of this. We have, throughout our whole of our business, health, life sciences, what's the other one? I can't remember the other. But we do look at it holistically. And throughout all our modules and our courses, we have sustainability underpinning this and applying it. And if we want to go forward, new ideas, Times Higher Education this morning saying that asking universities to put sustainability across all of their disciplines and to integrate the different departments and schools together if we are going to actually make and train global citizenship in the future. So that's all I wanted to say about higher education within the energy sector and broader within sustainability. Okay, so thank you very much, Ian.